Grammy. Look at the women who were saying that he made a pass at them. All of them got fucking Grammys. And who was on the Grammy committee? It was Harvey Weinstein and the rest of the pedophiles and the rest of the rapists out there in Hollywood. It is a rape culture. The Hollywood culture and the San Fernando or the pornography culture that is also a few blocks away from where the studios are in Hollywood, they're all the fucking same. When they talk about the sex parties that the actors go to and niggas is in rooms having all of this bestiality kind of sex and all of this hardcore sex, that's them bringing the women or the men from San Fernando Valley where they've been performing all kind of rituals. Remember, some of these women have been sexually molested from little children. Some of these women, these actresses, are actual sexual slaves, meaning that they have been sold into sexual slavery. They turned them out. They might have turned them out in Eastern Europe during the Bosnian War, or they sold them into sexual slavery in Europe, or they sold them into sexual slavery in Atlanta, or they sold them in, they did all of these things to these little girls, these young women. Then they graduate them into the porno industry, and then they graduate them into the prostitution, the quote-unquote prostitution industry, or the sex industry and whatnot, upgrade them into escorts, and then these are the same people that you see at the Hollywood parties out there in the Hollywood Hills having all of this sex with these actors and these actresses, and that's what you see, this ill circle taking place. They call it a rat line. If you Google rat line, R-A-T-L-I-N-E, it's tied into the, hold on, got nigga looking like Agent Smith walking by, I gotta be careful. They got the rat line, right? The rat line is tied into what is known as the, let me turn away from the camera, the deep web. The deep web, the deep state. That's what we were attempting to get into with our Into Deep lecture. The Into Deep lecture part 2, where we talk about all of this stuff. We'll be premiering that before the end of the year. You know, I don't have a date, but you'll know about it. And I believe it will be for pay-per-view, because look at what's going on with YouTube right now. I don't know if you realize it, but they've basically targeted a lot of the teachers because of our speech. All my videos have been flagged and demonetized, shit like that. You know, I feel guilty going on certain people's channels because I don't want their channels to get taken. But they out here, you know, trying to stop the information from going out. But all of that sexual trauma that's taking place in Hollywood is something that has been going on since time immemorial. It was not motherfucking Larry Flint, motherfucking Hugh Hefner, that piece of shit. People, y'all was giving him a pass. These motherfuckers are traffickers. They deal with trafficking. They deal with child pornography, pedophilia, all kind of other things. The politicians, Hollywood, and all of them are in bed. Somebody, that now you see President Bush got called out. Remember, Bill Clinton got called out. Now they calling out the ex-president Bush, who was also eating babies, raping babies, and doing all that. All of them are into that. Sexual trauma. Remember, anal penetration, anal sex is a Romanistic art of war. It is a war tactic. That is how they create trauma in their victims. It was a war tactic. When you had prisoners of war, you would anally rape them because you can control them like that. When you had women as prisoners of war, you would rape them. That's how you control people, through mind control. Neuralistic program, NLP. So inside of the music industry, it's a casting couch. You heard Rick Ross talk about it. Oh, if I sign a female rapper, shit, that means I got a boner. You see it through the music industry. Oh, if we trying to get somewhere in the music industry, niggas got to be able to pipe. They got to be able to pipe, meaning that there's old white men that want to basically dominate you and control you and sexually traumatize you. So think about this. All up in Hollywood, the same people that we're going to watch movies, these people are traumatized. They have multiple personality disorders, meaning that they've been traumatized and raped. Not just, I'm talking about, when we're talking about the kind of rape that they're accusing Harvey Weinstein of, and the kind of rape that they're accusing these Hollywood directors. We're not talking about regular boning. We're talking about defecation, urination, golden showers. We're talking about fisting. We're talking about multiple orgies. We're talking about 100 niggas on one woman type of shit. We're talking about the shit that you niggas be watching on Pornhub. That kind of fucking sex. That kind of manic shit. When women is tied up, sadomasochism, 50 Shades of Grey type shit. We're not just talking about regular sex. We're talking about crazy kind of shit. That's traumatizing kind of things. So think about it. The Cardi B's of the world, the women who are out here giving your daughters the blueprint on how to be women, right? The actresses that our women look up to, Halle Berry, Monsters Ball. She got penetrated on camera by the white boy who was also, he's a white supremacist. What's his name? What's the dude that Angelina Jolie was married to? He's a white supremacist. He hates black people, but he was dog fucking Halle Berry on film, and they gave her a Grammy for that, right? Billy Bob Thornton, right? Fucking Billy Bob, right? So the women that we're looking up to who are these Grammy Award winners, even Lupita, look at the Lupita. Lupita had the story about Harvey Weinstein. She said Harvey tried to pipe. In my humble opinion, Harvey pipe, all right? Harvey fuck. And because he's like, yo, the story that she's giving, that ain't the story I remember, which is code word for she gave niggas a sanitized version of what Harvey and her was doing when he made a sexual proposition to her to say that she wasn't even an actress at that point. He just was like, yo, if you want to get on, you got to pipe. Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton. And Harvey Weinstein, and then she winds up getting a Grammy later on down the line, playing what? Playing a character who got sexually traumatized on a plantation. Is that a fact? So these women, Glenn Close, what's her name? Gwyneth Paltrow. These women, Angelina Jolie. These women have been traumatized in that industry. The artists, you had the Pussycat Dolls. The lady came out and said, yo, we wasn't a music group. We was a prostitution ring, and we just happened to sing and be famous. But we were being sold to famous rich men who were passing us around. Is that a fact or not? So you have these stars, Disney stars, the young stars, Raymond Simone. I don't know what happened to her. I'm just calling her out because she's a young star. She hates men though. She's a lesbian who hates men. Her new show on Disney is like a closet lesbian fucking show. The show where she's living with a white chick, with her white son. She got her children. No man is in the picture. And they got all of this innuendos, this lesbian innuendos going on and whatnot. She don't like men, right? Let's go peace to the God. Say peace to the family. Broadcast. All right, yeah.
Peace, everybody.
So, the Disney stars, Corey Feldman, these child stars, they have been sexually traumatized. So, they have MK Ultra. They have multiple personalities. So, remember, the music that we're listening to, people who are giving it to us are giving it to us from a broken place. They've been traumatized. They have been sexually traumatized. The majority of them, right? Some of the men in the industry is like, yo, you know, there's rumors about a lot of these famous men, right? The women, there's rumors about them. Look at Little Kim. Look at what happened to her face. Look at what she did to herself. Is that not telltale signs of traumatization? Is that not telltale signs? She said, I wasn't pretty, right? People, look at the double decker. They taking pictures and all that. Shit is a safari. They're like, yo, they've been traumatized. She said, I was traumatized. She was, from a young age, she was like, niggas was treating her, the goons. They was doing her dirty. I'm from Brooklyn, from back in those days. She was fucking with killers. The nigga World, he's doing life right now. He's in the feds. He beat her up. He broke her face and whatnot. Big was violent towards her. D-Rock, they say, was violent towards her. So she fucks with thugs. She fucks with sociopaths. And shout out to Brother Oba. Brother Oba was on. You seen that Brother Oba with Black Dot, Rich? You seen Brother Oba with Black Dot? Yeah, it was fire. It's fire. I ain't gonna say what's up to the fam. We live. Peace, fam. Yeah, we out here with Rich. He's promoting this lecture that's coming up with Brother Panic. All right, make sure y'all tap into that. All right, November what?
19th.
November 19th. Come to New York, y'all. November 19th in Brooklyn at the Black Lady Theater. Brother Rich is bringing in Brother Panic. Brother Panic is going to be dealing on the multi-dimensional nature of the soul. That's what I'm talking about right now. So when the soul is shattered, when you get traumatized, it affects one's soul. So they're tapping in, they're traumatizing all of these people that are the ones who are the influencer, who are influencing us. They're influencing our children. They're influencing our babies and whatnot. But they themselves are being traumatized inside of this industry. This industry is tied into a satanic cult. The satanic cult is tied into other satanic cults. And that is the way that they are doing a lot of programming upon our people. That's how the curses are being emanated through the TV screens, through the radios, through the internet, through all of these places, because these are the people who have our attentions. Then what do? They dress them up, they powder them up, they give them roles to play, and then these motherfuckers are role playing. But inside of the story, it's all kind of subtleties, and even within the roles. So like I said, the people who are winning the awards, they are on the casting couch. Like you see, don't think that all of the fucking information has come up right now, because all of that fake shit that these men in Hollywood, they're like, yeah, we didn't know about Harvey Weinstein. They're fucking lying. They're lying. They said in one instant, Harvey Weinstein is a bully, right? But then the next instant, we didn't know that he was raping women. Nigga, how stupid are people? If you a bully, who from the hood? All the bullies I know talk about their sexual exploits. Is that a fact or not? You become a bully because if I'm dating a girl and you raped her, nigga come up and be like, that pussy was trash. She's, what's that? That's streets? Oh, I don't need that. You know how to be out here. So a bully basically brags about his sexual exploits. A bully rubs it in your face. So you had Hollywood men out there wifing up the women that Harvey Weinstein was raping. So he's a bully because he won't let your ass live in peace. He's gonna remind you, nah, B, she ain't nothing. I had sex. Look, me and motherfucking Mark Wahlberg and what's the other dude? You know, the Brat Pack, all the white boys that be out there running trains and running through and having their way with women and young boys in Hollywood. That's the fucking Hollywood way. But I don't want to keep it isolated, because it's not just Hollywood, it's government. It's not just government in Hollywood, it's the teachers inside of your schools teaching these babies. It's not just them, it's these uncles and whatnot. These people, the babysitters, the motherfucking... It's an organization that sexual exploitation happens. And everywhere, like Rich said, the hierarchy, everywhere. Remember, because it is all Roman, like I was saying, it's Roman in its nature. You're dealing with that foundation. But going back to what I was saying earlier about the brother Oba pointed out when he did a video with Black Dot, go and check out Urban X, that's his YouTube channel. He said he made a clear distinction, because niggas be throwing the word gangster around. Yo, you know how the urban legends, when we was young, all we was watching was DVDs on Preacher, Alpo. You have to be able to distinguish sociopath from motherfucking gangster, okay? Sociopath, niggas who enjoy killing. But not only do they enjoy killing, they enjoy traumatizing people. So traumatization not only comes from the end of a fucking barrel, traumatization came from the big homies coming home and fucking the little homies. Traumatization comes in running trains. Oh, you want to get down with the blood shorty? You want to be a Bodak? You want to be Bodak Red? Oh, no problem. Come, let's cut school. We're going to run a fucking train on you. It's going to be 30 of us. That's called sociopathic behaviors. They are promoting sociopathic. So now sociopathic behaviors are becoming normalized through hip hop. They're becoming normalized. You niggas that don't watch Family Guy, growing up watching Married with Children, watching Maury Povich every fucking morning. You're traumatized, all right? You're losing a grip on normalization. You're dehumanized. You're desensitized as to you niggas that watch snuff films all day, granny porn, fucking animal. The women who like to watch gay porn, men penetrating. you are desensitizing yourself. You're being traumatized that might be on top of traumatized, because an interesting reply we received the other day from a video, the same video that we're talking about, the mismanagement of sexual energy. And the sister said, I made a statement about women, research being done that women watch 70% of gay porn, meaning that how the hell does a heterosexual woman, how could she stomach watching another man penetrate another man? What the fuck is that about? So she wrote in the comment section that she was abused before, and she doesn't like to watch regular porn because men are dominating women. And I was like, well, goddamn it, I thought that's what the fuck isn't penetration. Like if somebody is a receiver and I'm the giver, there's always going to be a level of domination. But no, as a result of that, with this whole thing about anti-patriarchy and matriarchy, now women want to see men get dominated. Women want to see men get penetrated. So the rise in gay porn amongst women, that's why they be chilling with the moles. They don't have a fucking problem with that. I always try to figure that shit out. Like, how you chilling with this man? Do you even know what they be doing? That shit is gross. Like, that's violent. But they don't care. They like, yo, we want to see these niggas get dominated. You know what I'm saying, man? We don't give a fuck about watching us get dominated. Well, I take that back, because in the same survey, they said that black women are the highest number of voyeurs or viewers of interracial white men boning black women. They like to watch that shit, you know what I'm saying? But they don't like to watch the other things, you know what I'm saying? So I just was like, we really have to talk about as a community what it is that we're being exposed to via Hollywood, via the industry. Because like the brother said in the video with Blacked Out, the brother Oba said it as well, with this whole rise in Cardi B being the #1 artist, you know what I mean? As a female who broke records, she Billboard charted as a female. She's basically, and you know, no offense to Cardi, you know what I'm saying? She's a young woman who's been traumatized. She admitted it, that she's been traumatized, had trains ran on her. She was a prostitute selling the yoni, you know what I mean? Basically using her body as an ATM. So somebody in her life devalued her. She still has her parents in her life, but somebody came along and devalued her to where she feels like in order to be recognized, she had to basically show some of that motherfucking, tata. She had to be a stripper. She said she quit her 9 to 5 because she was tired of taking orders. She just started selling that box and stripping and whatnot. So she's been traumatized, and we have to approach it as such. I know that they say that hoes are winning and whatnot, but why is nobody talking about the mentality of hoes is winning? Why is nobody talking about the psychology behind the hoedom? Why in one arm you get mad at Harvey Weinstein, but in the other hand, hoes are winning? So if hoes are winning, then Harvey Weinstein didn't do anything wrong because he's out there spotting hoes. If it ain't tricking if you got it, and he was a fucking mogul, so he's basically buying pussy, saying, yo, I'll buy the box for a Grammy, because he was giving women Grammys. Like, a lot of his accusers done won Grammys and shit, right? So if that's the case, and on the left hand, y'all out there promoting Housewives of Atlanta and all of these hoes is winning, and you know what I'm saying? All of the chicks that we all follow on Instagram, because you could watch my following. I follow the hoes, you know what I mean? Just to see what they up to at night. And if, hey, you know what I'm saying? The hoes be dropping knowledge. So I'll be following them for bars. So if hoes are winning, and this is a whole society, then Harvey Weinstein's in them, right? They have a place in your society. They actually help your society function. These old white men that are flying out your WCW to fucking, you know what I mean, to a getaway on the Bahamas to do all kind of crazy shit with them. Yeah, they're feeding the machine. So we really got to talk about, are we being programmed by people who are being programmed through traumatization and sexual traumatization via all of these outlets? Because They're breaking all of them. As you can see, it's coming out that the majority of them have been broken into in ways that I cannot even say on Instagram because it will violate Instagram's policies. And this is the shit that we're all, our babies, our 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds are getting subliminally suggested by people who are traumatized. MK Ultra motherfuckers are basically telling your children how to express their sexuality. They're telling the child that's within us, because remember, they talk about sexual traumatization, that if somebody was to be traumatized as a young child, you might be in your 40s, but that young child is still on the surface. So we're being spoken to by other people who are also traumatized. So there's a conversation, there's a narrative taking place subconsciously on the subconscious level that some of us don't even realize right now. And the subliminal suggestion have motherfuckers out here going crazy, doing all kind of shit that you necessarily would not even be doing. You go into the motherfucking sex shop buying 18-inch dildos. You don't even know why. You are being traumatized. You're being programmed. Subliminal suggestions. Go and study Edward Bernays. Go and study Century of Self. If they had they shit so upstairs all the way back in the 30s, imagine where they at in 2017 when it comes to the programming. So the cartoons, Professor Griff showed you that the sexual innuendos or the sexual programming in Disney cartoons, where they're drawing out penises and whatnot, and then you could draw a penis and then you could draw a character around that, or a yoni, or a breast and whatnot. All of this perverted shit that I don't want to say it, but these people are called the synagogue of Satan. They've been kicked out of countries for being sexual perverts and bringing pornography, bringing sexual perversion to different cultures. They were exiled out of multiple cultures for that. They're running Hollywood. They're running the programming. They're basically the ones who are dictating what's the culture and what's not the culture. You know what I mean? And then we wonder why society is fucked the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into what we're talking about with more research. You know, it's always better when you could put images and pictures and, you know, thorough research to back up what it is that you're saying. But I'm saying that the whole industry, all of that shit, the music industry, motherfucking American Idol, you know what I mean? Like, all of these things are related. Anybody, and I wish the people that were in Hollywood that had some of the behind the scenes information would be more vocal about it and step the fuck up and begin to expose some of the goings-ons that are going out there, because parents still think that it's safe to send your child to Hollywood to be a fucking star. You know what I mean? There's still women out here that are like, you know, packing up their bags and shit and headed fucking west with a dollar and a dream to be the next Lupita. But they don't know the world that they're stepping into, that this is a den of vipers, snakes, scorpions, you name it, dragons and shit. They'll eat you alive like they've been doing, and they're going to continue to do. Look at what they did to Billie Holiday, Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could go all the way down the line. The casting couch always have been there. Women have been getting raped. You know what I'm saying? Women have been getting sexually exploited. But now it's spilling over into society where that's becoming the norm amongst regular day people. There's something that has to be done about that. You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable with living in a world where shit like that is just everyday norms. You know what I mean? I'm on the stream. Okay. Indeed. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Gabrielle interview on Sway. Now, Gabrielle Union, she's also, Gabrielle Union is out here eating ass, right? But when we talk about Gabrielle Union, she also was a sexual molestation victim, meaning that she was traumatized at a very young age, and she was masturbating at 5, right? But what I'm saying is, based off of what's going on right now in society, and the signals that are being sent, and the messages, peace, y'all, all right? And the messages that are being broadcasted, and the sexual innuendos that you could watch, that you could pick up on just watching fucking Disney, that people might hear that and be like, oh my goodness, she was masturbating at 5. But I'm like, yo, they got babies masturbating at 5 now? You know what I'm saying? Based off the, you got babies listening to Cardi B word for word and shit like that. Like, it's not far-fetched. You understand? So here it is. She's expressing the fact that, she might have gotten turned out at a very young age through sexual trauma and other things. And now that she's grown, she's like, yo, this is what I'm on. You know what I'm talking about? Let me get a piece of that. She's like, this is what I'm on. This is what I do. My guy likes the salad toss. He wants me to eat the booty. And was she encouraging other women to do it too?
Indirectly. Yeah. Talking about every guy once in a while.
Every guy once in a while deserves his ass licked.
What comes after that?
What comes after the ass licking, though?
Vivica Fox said that about 50. She ate his ass.
Vivica Fox said, yeah, that she
Amber Rose tried to say that.
Amber Rose said,
like, I don't want no fingers up.
Amber Rose said, not only did she toss the boy salad, but she stirred his drink too. You know what I'm saying? She's like, he likes that thumb action, She put the thumb in the booty and all of that. So that goes back to the statement that the sister said about wanting to dominate the male principle because of the domination that may have happened to her throughout time and whatnot, and, being able to give it back. So, women with strap-ons, dildos, thumbs in the ass, salad tossing, at what point as a society, or as what point as a civilized nation, or as what point as people who are aware of sexual deviancy, do we kind of say, yo, we got to kind of draw a line somewhere. You know what I mean? Because if there's no lines drawn, you're going to find yourself more Roman than the motherfucking Roman after a while. Very soon. You know what I mean? You're going to find yourself in a place where not just you're eating, you're going to be eating like a savage. You're going to be sexually promiscuous in a savage way. You're going to be, doing things, thinking like a savage. At what point does it just go from pleasure and joy? Because I know people are married, and by no way am I trying to police anybody's activities and whatnot. I'm not, that's not what we're doing. We're having a conversation about certain kind of, we're being grown-ups, having grown conversations. If there's any children in the room, I don't want to be explicit, and I don't think that this is even a conversation for a very young child. You know what I mean? But we're having these conversations as grown-ups because it's just something that it's fucking Scorpion season. So we're going to talk about sex, death, and all kind of resurrection and shit like that for the next 30 days. You goddamn right. Okay? So at what point? Because, people have their relationships. They in love. They got bae. They got their bae. They in love. Sometimes you don't have brakes on your love. I got no brakes on my love. I'll do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I eat the booty. That's what they say. So I'm not policing nobody's bedrooms. We're not the sex police. But you just gotta ask yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Brother of Vegas shooter arrested for child porn.
You see? Brother of Vegas shooter arrested for child pornography. That was a clip that the brother just showed me. Now, that's very easy to tap for the feds to put child pornography on your computer and all kind of other things. That's a tactic that they use in order to silence people. That's a tactic that they use to bring senators and politicians down They just say, oh, they had child pornography in their computer. They lock you up. And you never really hear nothing about it after that. You know what I mean? You know, so you always got to be, you know, be wary of that. But just know that this is what they're into. Know that this is the shit that they're into. Know that this is something that's innate in this culture that you are not familiar with. You're just becoming familiar with European culture post-integration, which is only, what is it? What's integration, 40, 50 years in? You don't know who these people are. You don't know anything about them. You don't know their sexual. You black women that are being fetished by white men, you're becoming familiar with who they are. Black women who are prostitutes. I knew some prostitutes before, and they would tell me some of the things that their Johns wanted them to do to them. The shit was completely disgusting. You know what I mean? This is the kind of things that they're into. And they fetish black women. They call them jungle bunnies, jungle pussy. It's a fetishing. The same way that white women fetish the black man. Black phallus. They go on a mandingo missions, you know what I mean? Like they go on sex tourism. They go to Jamaica and go swing on, you know, on a rod of charade in them. You know what I mean? Pimp God charade. You know what I mean? They go specific, like white men go to Thailand on sex tourism to have sex with 10-year-olds. You feel me? They go to Brazil to have anal sex with Brazilian women and things like this sex tourism and the sex industry and sexual trafficking and human trafficking is one of the biggest crimes that are taking place. For all you niggas that say what you would have did as a slave to get out of slavery, well, why don't you put on your fucking boots, your Django boots, and go help some of these young women and young boys that are sexual slaves right now? Go and fucking be a John Brown of that liberal. Go and Harriet Tubman, that shit right there. You know what I mean? Go and research the dark web, because there's rooms that are on the dark web where they're doing a lot of raping and a lot of sexual activity with children and whatnot, because that's where the politicians, that's where they feast, on the dark web, because you cannot trace your internet activity, like your Google browsing history. The dark web is untraceable. That's why they use the dark web. So all of this propaganda about the emails with Hillary and Podesta and Pizzagate, a lot of that not really real, because politicians are on the dark web. That's really why they started the dark web and the deep web, is so for government officials to browse and to interact in encrypted rooms off of the fucking grid. All right, so don't fall for that shit. A lot of that is lies. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna have the conversation on one of these channels very soon, where we're gonna get more in depth. Brother Phil Valentine will be in New York on November 5th at St. Francis College with King Simon. Re-engineering gender, is that what it's called? I believe that's the name of the title. He'll be talking about, who? Oh, so he'll be talking about these topics as well on November 5th. And then right after that, on the 19th, like we said, Brother Rich has Brother Panic coming into Brooklyn at the Black Lady Theater. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, you know, you got to have these conversations, man. Sexual perversion, molestation, all of these things that are real fucking topics. Real shit, like shit that niggas be wanting, that people like avoiding, because they don't like to deal with real topics. The real topics sometimes are a little bit too real. You know, you could gossip all day, you could pontificate, but when it comes to real topics, you got to have real solutions, because this is some real shit and it's affecting real people. Like, I know people personally that have been affected. So, you know, we got to begin to expose the, and I think it's something cosmic, right, Rich? Like, I'm going to talk to the Cosmo physician, because all of this exposing of sexual secrets, you know, Scorpio is in Jupiter right now. Like, there's a lot of things where, I mean, like President Bush just got exposed, and then the nigga apologized, and they said that he did it in a wheelchair. He was touching boobs in a wheelchair. Like, you know, this wouldn't have happened a few years ago. These are powerful men You could not get those stories out in the media. You could not even get that shit out on the internet. So, and the Harvey Weinstein shit has opened up a can of worms. They done accused another director. 200 women came forward. If it quack, you niggas was beating up on Bill Cosby. If it quacked like a duck, motherfucker, it's a duck. Now, if one woman say something, yeah, all right, maybe. If 2 or 3, then you start to, your eyebrow is raised up. But if 200 fucking women say that this nigga was taking sex from women and using his power and abusing his power inside of America, like Blue Pill pointed out, one of the tenets of power in America is to get the shit so you can abuse it. That's why watching slave porn, all of these slave movies, The Help, 12 Years a Slave, Roots, it's programming. It's traumatizing. It triggers PTSD, but it also is, remember, for the alt-right or the white people that are watching all of these movies, because anytime you get into arguments with them, the majority of their talking points and their arguments are based off of the falsehoods that they're getting from the roots. Yo, we let you free from slavery. Yo, we were your owners. Yo, we allowed you to get free and we gave you jobs. Yo, if we wanted to keep you in bondage, all of this fuck shit they be talking about, not identifying who the fuck, not identifying their role and where they were as slaves, not identifying the fact that they were indentured servants and they came in chains on boats and they were sex farms set up and their women were basically being sexed out of existence and whatnot, their seeds and whatnot. So, you know, they be missing out real big fucking pieces of the puzzle when they start talking that talk. But these movies or these programming, they're basically putting these people in this place of false power. They're putting these people in these places where they think that they can abuse you. And they feel like their ancestors abused you sexually, physically, psychologically, economically. And they feel entitled that they can do the same thing. You know what I mean? They almost feel like that's their God-given right. So you need to, I stay the fuck away from them because we have enough sickness, we have enough problems, we have enough sociopaths that are within our race for me to attach myself to a whole fucking other race of sociopaths. Why would I do that? How the hell we gonna clean this shit up with these devilish niggas amongst us? How we gonna do that? You're not gonna do that by buddying up with the white people. What they gonna do for you? Lock them up? That's not gonna work. What they gonna do for you? So we gotta deal with our issues. We gotta clean up house, and we gotta heal some of these sick people that are amongst our own tribe. Because if not, it's going to do it. If it quack, you niggas was beating up on Bill Cosby. If it quacked like a duck, motherfucker, it's a duck. Now, if one woman say something, yeah, all right, maybe. On itself. The stream is about to cut off. All right? Like I said, thank you everybody for coming through. Love and light. We'll have these conversations on another date.